The Philadelphia Experiment, a ship that vanished. Imagine a warship vanishing into thin air, reappearing hundreds of miles away. Its crew fused into the metal, driven insane by what they saw. This isn't science fiction. This is the legend of the Philadelphia Experiment, a story the US Navy has denied for decades. But whispers of truth refuse to die. The story begins. The year was 1943. World War II was at its height. According to conspiracy lore, the US Navy was desperate to find an edge. At the Philadelphia Naval Shipyard, they allegedly began experiments to render a destroyer escort, the USS Eldridge, invisible to radar and maybe even to the human eye. Witnesses claim massive generators were installed aboard the ship. Tesla coils, magnetic fields, and strange green fog surrounded the vessel. The ship shimmered, flickered, and vanished. Some say the Eldridge didn't just disappear from Philadelphia, it reappeared moments later in Norfolk, Virginia, over 200 miles away. When it returned to Philadelphia, the true horror began. Crew members were said to be disoriented, insane or worse, fused into the steel of the ship itself. Arms, legs, and even torsos melded with the bulkhead, as if the men had become one with the machine. Others were missing entirely. Some supposedly reappeared days later, walking into bars in a daze before vanishing again into thin air. Survivors spoke of violent illness, memory loss, and strange burns on their skin. The story of the Philadelphia Experiment first surfaced in 1955, when a man named Carl Allen, also known as Carlos Allende, wrote letters to a UFO researcher. He claimed he had witnessed the experiment with his own eyes, and that he possessed knowledge of the horrifying aftermath. Skeptics say Allende was a fantasist, but others point out that too many details lined up with Navy activities at the time. Could it really have been a hoax, or was it the leak of a dangerous truth? Theories. Cloaking technology. Some believe the Navy was experimenting with an early form of stealth technology, bending light or radar waves using massive magnetic fields. The experiment may not have worked as intended, but what if it partially succeeded? Others claim the ship slipped through dimensions, not just invisible, but ripped out of space-time itself. The crew weren't fused with the ship. They were trapped in between realities, their bodies mangled when reality snapped back into place. The US Navy denies the experiment ever took place. Officially, they say the Eldridge was never even in Philadelphia at the time, but classified documents about electromagnetic research were destroyed, and sailors who served on the ship refused to talk. Too convenient, some say, too clean. There's also the theory that the Philadelphia experiment itself was a cover story, deliberately spread to distract people from the real research happening: radar, invisibility, mind control experiments, or even nuclear tests hidden in plain sight. The haunting question. So what really happened to the USS Eldridge? Was it just another Navy ship in World War II? Or was it a vessel that briefly slipped into another world? The government calls it fantasy, but the stories feel like something too strange to invent. And if the Philadelphia experiment was real, how far has that technology advanced since? What invisible ships are out there right now, slipping past us without a trace? And remember, sometimes the scariest secrets aren't buried underground. They're floating right on the surface, hiding in plain sight.